What is NLP? Today I'm going to break down NLP, why it's such a powerful tool, why it's something that you want to be aware of, and modern uses as well as modern adaptations on NLP. So first, let's give you a quick little snapshot of the history. In the mid-1970s, John Grinder and Richard Bandler, a young entrepreneurial polymath, they connected. Grinder was a linguistics professor, and they started developing this technology, studying some of the most successful therapists of their era, like Milton Erickson, Virginia Satir, Fritz Perls, and they started identifying what were the core characteristics of their success, where they got desired outcomes rapidly because they had a disproportionate result compared to ordinary therapists. They created this concept called meta-modeling, which is like, in essence, what are the models or the frameworks that enable people to create those breakthroughs? Think of it like, now we hear these clues or these statements, success leads clues. Well, they were identifying success breakthroughs in the sense of, hey, how did this person get past this phobia? How did this person break through a belief barrier or an identity barrier or a significant mental health crisis around depression or just a struggle, right? And that was just handcuffing them. And so they identified all these clues and formulated it into NLP. Now, it's also inherently understanding that the human system is an operating system. So like your nervous system, your mind, your body, it's all one big operating system. And sometimes it operates poorly, right? It doesn't give you the desired outcome because there's a bug in the operating system or some programming that needs to be changed. So you think of a computer, according to this on my laptop right now. And so if the operating system is not giving me the desired outcome, I'm putting it in the numbers, I'm putting it in the input, then I might need to change some of the programming. And when you change the programming, then you also are changing triggers. And triggers are embedded into our nervous system from a young age of like, hey, is it safe? And you can go down to like attachment theory, Jungian psychology for the archetypes as well, even generational trauma. Like we get triggers embedded into us because of our upbringing. So how do you move past those quickly? Now, one of the cool things I found about NLP, it does parts integration. And parts integration is analogous or similar to internal family systems developed by Dr. Richard Schwartz. There are some differences, but there's a lot of similarities. And the parts integration is one of the most powerful tools because oftentimes we have this small part of ourselves that is disrupting our flow. And you think of the inner child problem or inner child healing, which is very popular in today's day and age. Well, that's part of what you actually do in NLP or internal family systems. And what happens is if you got this part, like when you were 4 years old and you were quieted and you were physically bullied, let's call it, and that part of you was buried, suppressed, or you just learned to escape and manage it, but that part was never identified and healed and brought to full integration into your nervous system. That energy is still trapped there, and it might be festering, right? Like if you look at a lot of autoimmune diseases and people work through the PTSD or the trauma that they were struggling with, those autoimmune diseases like fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, MS, other things will often subside because the nervous system is overreacting. We also hear from, elements of that from like famous books like Body Keeps the Score, right? That's a big, big piece of cleaning up. I call it cleaning out the junk in your trunk, right? You got junk in your trunk, junk in your operating system, bad code that is causing your computer to wig out or defrag, right? And you are the operating system. Fortunately, you can do it rapidly. I've seen rapid changes and lasting changes happen very quickly with many of my clients. And I've worked with 300-400 entrepreneurs on a one-on-one or mastermind type basis, and then thousands more on a larger scale. The other thing to be aware of when you are working with NLP is the goal is to create a change in the memory. And if you listen like Joe Dispenza, what's he say? Memories are encoded according to feelings. So when I go back and I create the parts integration, I heal or align or connect with that stuck energy, guess what? That problem that is from the past, now the memory literally changes because the energy or emotion around that energy or that memory changes. And that's when you get the breakthrough, right? If you look at all of therapy, when therapy is really effective, whether it's CBT or somatic psychotherapy or massive breakthrough or not how, it's when you have a shift in that energy. And one of the things I loved about NLP is it goes through the different auditory, physical, kinesthetic, scent, smell, etc., right? Hearing, all the different things that the multiple layers of your senses, and connects with those so that you get associated and then you get integrated with that core part. All right. So NLP can be really, really powerful. It's pseudoscientific. I'm not going to say it's fully backed by any scientific board, but it's a really, really useful and powerful tool set that actually blends in a lot of different elements of different therapeutic approaches, as well as advanced understanding of how our brain or our nervous system operates. So hope that's a good breakdown for you. The most famous practitioner of NLP, of course, is Tony Robbins, who I've spent 1,447 hours with. I'm also a master NLP practitioner, which basically means I went through a very extensive training and certification process to learn NLP, to get the fundamentals and the more advanced levels down pretty pat. I've used it a ton in my own life and my wife, helping her navigate trauma. Used it in helping others also create rapid change. So I think it's a very useful tool, and I think if you are interested in creating rapid change, it is something you want to look deeper into. And I have more videos. Definitely hit the subscribe button and come back and see some more videos that I have coming out on the most powerful NLP techniques that you want to be aware of to create rapid change in your life. Talk soon.